Hello and welcome back in the classic series of muscle car era engines. As you can see, I have made a lot of cool engines in my previous videos. The Cleveland, the 255, Windsor, and a lot of cool ones in the past as well. But this one, I have looked a lot of legendary Ford engines, and I found this one, the 302 Ford Boss V8. I'm not really sure what's the idea behind it, but I have read the description of it and it was really hilarious, because this engine has been designed by the CEO of Ford at that time, Mr. Larry Shinoda. He actually went to the engineers and he told them, and I quote here, "I want to design a car that is the coolest Mustang out there, and I don't want someone's name on it like a Shelby." Yes, that really touched a nerve by all Shelby lovers. That's actually the Ford CEO word at that time, and it was really hilarious because as you heard, the Ford CEO at that time, he went to the designers and the engineers and he told them to design this specific engine under the name the Boss, because this engine has been fitted to the legendary 302 Ford Mustang Boss in the 1969-1970s. These 2 years were the designing and engineering and of course the production years of the 302 Ford Boss V8. And it was an amazing engine. Actually, it's not bad. Let's start with the specs. It's a 90 degrees 8-cylinder with cast iron block material, 101.6 millimeters for the bore, 76.2 millimeters for the stroke, 4,942 cc engine, or you can call it the 5-liter engine. This is where the 5-liter engine story started with the 302 Ford Boss V8. It was an amazing engine. It has push rods, two valves per cylinder, cast iron head. As you can see, cast internals all the way, zero quality here. 10.5 to 1 is the compression ratio, which is extremely high for this kind of engine in the era. Yes, I mean, I saw some engines with 11.1 to 1, 11.0 to 1 compression ratio, and I also saw, because I actually have a muscle car book that I bought from the library, which has nearly all the legendary muscle cars and engines of the eras starting from the 50s all the way to 2015. It's a cool book, and in it I found out that there are some actual engines from the 70s with 13.0 to 1 compression ratio, which is extremely high for that carbureted era. But now let's keep our minds on this 302 Boss V8. 10.5 to 1 the compression ratio, 78 on the cam profile, which is nearly a racing camshaft, because I have actually looked in Wikipedia and I found out that this engine originally was designed to be a racing engine in the Trans Am racing series at that time, and they made a road going version of it, which is this one that I made here, plus 15 quality, as you can see, because I had to push it all the way so I can achieve the correct power and torque figures. Moving on, I'm using a single 4-barrel carburetor with performance intake manifold and performance intake system. Super leaded 98 fuel. I know this is not really needed in real life, because the engine in real life can run on premium. That's what they said in Wikipedia, because I think they have the leaded fuel at the time. I'm not really sure. You can tell me in the comment section if it's true or not, but I'm using super leaded here because I needed a 98 octane fuel so I can make this engine run perfectly. 13.0, which is the highest air fuel ratio you can go with this, with a single barrel carburetor, a single 4-barrel carburetor. 50 on the ignition timing, 5,800 on the RPM limit, plus 15 quality also on the fuel system. Short cast headers, dual exhaust pipes, 2.2 inch is the exhaust diameter, or 57.1 millimeters. Reverse flow first muffler, reverse flow second muffler, so we have quad reverse flow mufflers, plus 5 quality on the exhaust. And this is the final result: 290 horsepower on 5,700 rpm, 290 pound-feet of torque. This was the vision of the Ford CEO at that time, Mr. Larry, I think. Yes, Mr. Larry. This was his vision. Perfectly horsepower and perfectly torque. Perfectly the same number of both power and torque. As you can see, the engine is 275. It's a little bit heavy. Yes, it's very heavy, but you know what I mean, because engines these days are extremely lightweight compared to the engines from the 70s. So this is extremely heavyweight compared to 2018 V8, but this was fairly heavy in the 70s compared to other V8s. 62 on the reliability, which is good. The service cost is low, which is also good. The fuel economy, it's acceptable for a high performance small block Ford engine at the time, at the 70s. And as you can see, I'm using nearly all the octanes. Since we are using leaded fuel, the emissions are extremely through the roof. The noise is quiet. It's because actually this was the Ford CEO vision. He wanted a cool, quiet engine at normal speeds, and with a hint of performance noise at high RPM. And this engine sounds exactly like the vision of the Ford CEO at that time. Throttle response is good for a 4-barrel carburetor, and the engine is not really smooth because this is a high performance engine. Now let's fire up this beast here. I mean, it's not really quiet at low RPM, even with these quad reverse flow mufflers, but it still has good noise to it. As you can hear and see, and as you saw and heard, this engine is an absolute beast. 290 horsepower and at 5,700 rpm and 290 pound-feet of torque at 4,500 rpm. So it's a high performance small block at the time, and I'm really happy with the end result, and I'm really proud and I'm honored to make this kind of special and unique V8 made at the 1970s by Ford Motor Company. So if you like the video, if you enjoyed the video, press that like button. If you are new, get subscribed, share the video if you want to share it, and I want you to request more classic V8 inline 6s, inline 4. I want you to request any kind of engine you want, but first please check if the game can support it, because superchargers are not yet supported, twin turbochargers for inline 6s are not yet supported, so you have to check with these first before requesting an engine and the tiny engines, especially scooter or tiny bike engines, are not yet supported here because the minimum bore and stroke are only 50 millimeters. That's it. So I'm really thankful that you all watching my videos, and I'm really, as I said before, I'm really honored to make these kind of legendary engines. I will make some Chevy's engines in the near future, or I'm gonna make them very soon. Actually, I'm gonna make some Toyotas, some Nissan engines from the past, from the 70s, 80s, because this era, the 70s, is a very unique, and this is a very special era for automation, for automotive industry, or for car industry. And I'm really happy and I'm really honored to make replicas from these legendary engines. So thank you so much for watching. I'm gonna see you very soon with more content, and please request engines, cars, whatever you want. Let's focus on engines because engines are absolutely amazing and I'm really happy to make them. So thank you for watching, and I'm gonna see you very soon, and goodbye.